The issue between strategic resource management and luck has always clashed in a sense in various card games like Yu-Gi-Oh! Some people in the earlier years, when more comparisons were made, wondered if Magic the Gathering had the better system because a player was not able to take advantage of his or her more powerful cards at the beginning of the contest, instead having to build up resources over the course of the match before activating those cards. Of course, the problem with that system is that it is prone to gross inefficiency and the quote unquote bricking of a hand in a way Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not, which in itself is its own problem. However, this is not the issue of this discussion, but instead, how would the game change if the level of luck were reduced by allowing the free selection of resources at the beginning of the duel? Basically, instead of drawing 5 random cards at the beginning of a duel, what if each player was allowed to select the 5 cards directly from his or her deck? Afterward, decks would be shuffled and play would proceed as normal. The first turn player only receiving 5 cards, the second turn player drawing a 6th card, etc., etc. Now, before challenging the viability of this system, think about the strategic nature such a change would bring to the duel. Some might argue that the player going first would have a significant, almost broken advantage, being able to set up some form of first turn kill combination, which would clearly be true, which is why there would need to be a few rule changes. Most notably, neither player could inflict damage to the other on the first turns. Basically, it would be akin to the effect of a 1 day of peace on the field for the first 2 turns of the duel, each player's first turn. The first turn player would still be unable to attack, and the second turn player would still be able to attack and destroy monsters, but no damage would be inflicted to either side as a result of this attacking by the second turn player. Life point payments would still be active, though, so no free instant fusions and the like. The strategic possibilities of such a system are interesting in that does the first turn player go all in, hoping that the second player does not have negation or that he or she can surpass it? Do they play defensively, looking for a counterattack? Does he or she load up on draw power and leave it up to chance, saying, well, I'm going to use my first 5 cards to add 6 or 7 to my hand, and now we'll see what I get out of those 6 or 7, and now can I make my plays? Because, however, that strategy could expose you more to deck out and kind of trolley type decks. Without knowing the opponent's hand, I imagine it would be risky to simply load up on power because advantages by the first turn player could be mitigated by the card selections made by the second player and result in significant losses for the first turn player. For example, the second player could add an effect veiler to negate critical monster effect activations or a kaiju type monster to eliminate a powerful self-protecting monster that could produce major hand advantage. Understand that this is not an idea to bring balance to the game because some archetypes are simply superior to others based on existing card support, and this will always be the case. The idea is to attempt to mitigate the level of luck in the game by allowing a player to choose his or her starting point. Basically, eliminate bricking and maximizing strategic options. Will this idea mitigate luck completely? Certainly not, but anything that can limit luck is a positive step in my book. Mitigating luck will also allow so-called weaker decks the ability to set up any major power plays they might have to give them a more probable ability to compete. Maybe. Overall, I think it would be rather interesting to see how such a change in the game would work over the course of a single tournament. Instead of people drawing 5 random cards, they get to go through their deck and scoop out the 5 cards that they want to start with. After the conclusion of such a tournament, would people like the results? Would there be more freedom in deck design, or would it be more restrictive due to concerns about what the opponent might do with their selective freedom? So I have to run like these 15 cards in whatever deck I run, which limits your overall archetype efficiency. Would games simply be blowouts marred by an overarching, simplistic, single-minded strategy by both the first and second turn players, or would more artful and elaborate strategies emerge, allowing more skilled duelists to separate themselves from the crowd? In the end, I believe this idea really would only work out one of two ways. First, it positively evolves the game into something much more interesting and entertaining, increasing its popularity. Or two, it is an unmitigated disaster, kind of like Snatch Steel being unbanned, and is quickly dismissed as an option, as a valid option for the future. Well, that is today's interesting, possibly crazy idea for Yugioh. Thank you for your attention and your time. I'm out.